Welcome to Backbreaking News, episode 180. Today, we're going to be talking about, I talked about WrestleMania, I talked about the Royal Rumble, but today, I talked about the Netflix merger, but today I'm going to go off topic a little bit. Usually I stick with, WWE, but today I'm going to talk about 10 things that AEW currently does a little bit better than WWE. Not 10 things, but a few things, that AEW, from what I've been seeing, versus what I've been seeing in WWE. As I said, the number one most important thing that they have done is, have creative match type. It's not like just a no disqualification match, but if it is a no disqualification match, at least they have a theme to it. Like, a Philadelphia street fight is just a no disqualification match with nothing from Philly there, nothing related to Philadelphia. AEW would, if they're doing something like that, they're going to make it based or around. And they have a stadium stampede matches where you fight in a stadium, an empty stadium, against each other. I don't know about you, but that's exciting. That's something exciting. It's an interesting match type. It's a really interesting match type. And you want me to tell you what? WWE could take notes. Then they have a dog collar match. It's like like a whatchamacallit. Oh, I know what it's called. A strap match, but instead of tied to the arms, you're tied to each other's neck with a dog collar, and you fight that way. They've had barbed wire. They have had matches with barbed wire on them, and they also had orange mocha, I believe, match where their orange mocha, which I believe is like orange juice and alcohol. Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. They had a little stadium filled with juice. You could either throw your opponent in the juice to win, or pinfall or submission. Those were the only two ways to win. And then there was a casino battle royal. I don't know exactly how those work, but I heard those are good. And then they have the Continental Championship, which is defended by tournaments, and whoever champion competes in the next tournament in a round robin tournament, which means you face everyone, and the one with the highest points wins. And then you get the 2 championship matches on the pay-per-view. WWE has not done anything that interesting in a while. Number 2 is that AEW has a little more blood in it. Sometimes to a fault, but listen, if I get hit in the head with a chair, I should be bleeding. I don't care. If we want to try to make wrestling look realistic, blood is definitely something that makes it look more realistic. Not to the point where you bleed in every match, but in special occasions where you have a no disqualification match, you should have a little bit of color in it. AEW does that to a fault at times, but it makes the matches seem more interesting, like something brutal is actually going on. Instead of, if my head banged against the stairs, got hit with a chair, I should be dead or bloody. Dead or bloody, one of the two. You gotta try to make it feel as realistic as possible. Like, if I hit my head on or get hit, that's the reason why Like, even when they use... That's the major point. Number three is they're focusing on the newer generation now. Let me think. They're trying to build younger stars, whereas WWE is trying to keep, the same guys from, let's say, 2012 or like 2000 still popular. The thing is, they're not trying to build new stars like Carmelo Hayes. The only one they're really built up really good is Damian Priest and Gunther. Drew McIntyre was always like that main event guy. They built 2 new stars, and they're leaving out pretty important people like Logan Paul could be the future. Even though I don't really like him, he could be a future star. Austin Theory could be a future star, but those people don't get opportunity. It's always the same people. Kevin Owens. Drew McIntyre always getting title shots. Seth Rollins. It's never anybody different. It's no one not out of the main event space like Austin Theory, Grayson Waller. They're the future of this division, and they haven't got one title match, world title shot, because it's barely defended on Raw. But overall, AEW has been trying to put over Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin. They've been trying to put over the possible future, but for every young guy they have 2 guys 50. But they're trying to focus more on a younger people like in their 30s over people in their 40s or 50s. Or they're trying to give them more opportunities. I believe this is like number 5. World title matches on Dynamite or their show compared to Monday Night Raw. The last time I see Monday Night Raw have a championship match for a world title was like a few months back after Gunther won the World Heavyweight title, and Gunther, Cody Rhodes have never defended their titles on Raw and SmackDown. Neither has Jon Moxley, but AEW is, every once in a while, they'll put it on Dynamite for a special episode instead of just giving us random stuff. Overall, the AEW experience is better that way, because you're supposed to make them have like championship reigns. If your champion is doing nothing for months, like Gunther is a good champion, he's just hasn't had many opportunities to defend his title yet. And that's because they're not willing to pull the trigger on people like, Chad Gable giving them a world title opportunity, or people like fan favorites. As I said, they're not willing to put someone not in that main event position into that main event position, even for one night. That's the biggest problem with the titles. They're not willing to put over fan favorites. Like, give LA Knight a title match or on SmackDown, or they're just not willing to do it. And the only titles that ever get defended on Raw are on the mid-card titles, like the Intercontinental Champion or the United States Championship. But even then, they're defended scarcely too. I know the whole point of having a pay-per-view is for titles to be defended, but you have to give people a reason to watch Monday Night Raw. Like, I know, like, just because John Cena appears and you have 2 title matches doesn't mean anything if your world champion is not competing. Unless that's what AEW does better, in my opinion. But As I said, Darby Allin is one of my favorite wrestlers. I hope he's the one who defeats Jon Moxley for the title. But, you want me to tell you what? I like the fact that AEW isn't is doing better in those aspects, but they created new and exciting stuff. Whereas WWE has been staying with the same 3, 4, or 5 match types. Nothing new, nothing exciting. The only time people really get excited now is the Royal Rumble, because the Royal Rumble match, Money in the Bank to see who could get a title match anytime, WrestleMania because it's the biggest show of the year, Elimination Chamber to see who could be possible champion, and that's about it. Before we had Extreme Rules to look forward to, where you got Extreme Rules matches, and not just that, no disqualification matches and stuff. Then we also had Hell in a Cell and TLC to look forward to, where Hell in a Cell was the main theme of the pay-per-view, and TLC where tables, ladders, and chairs matches all happened, and then the TLC match. All of that disappeared once Triple H comes up. Now there's something less looking forward to, and there's not even I'm not to bring back themed pay-per-views, but I want to bring back themed pay-per-views, but create a new match type for one. Debut it on WrestleMania, and if it does good, make a pay-per-view based on it. It will get some people excited. AEW did that with Blood and Guts, which is basically just War Games, but still, it's more exciting than the same old. Ultimately, those are all the things that AEW does a little bit better than WWE. Goodbye.